Hey guys, today we're going to be doing what if Goku never learned instant transmission. So the way Goku doesn't learn instant transmission is after Namek blows up and Goku's flown over to Yardrat, he's healed up and it's like canon, but instead of some Yardratian teaching Goku the instant transmission technique, that person who taught him that in canon, let's say he's busy or he's dead or he's off planet. So Goku goes back to Earth like in canon. Everything is pretty much like canon. Barely any changes, no major changes to canon up until the Cell Saga in the part where after Goku gets healed from the heart virus after he recovers, he uses instant transmission a lot right after that. In the canon story, he uses it to get from Kame House to the airship to where Vegeta and Trunks are to where Piccolo and Tien are fighting Cell. So he uses the instant transmission a lot. He goes, yeah, so after he gets Vegeta and Trunks, he goes lookout. He goes to where the fight's going on. So it's quite a lot of places he has to go, point A to point B to point C, and going onwards. And with instant transmission, this took him maybe a few minutes at most, but without instant transmission, he's just flying all over the place really fast over a huge distance of area, just a huge distance of like land and sea. So it's gonna take him, I'd say, probably at least an hour to go from Kame House to the airship to the Trunks and Vegeta's air place where they are, like the mountains, to the lookout, all the way to where the fight with Cell, Piccolo, and Tien is happening. And when Goku got there in the canon timeline, Piccolo was almost dead. Tien was about to die from using the tri beam so much right after the other, like one tri beam, two tri beam, three. He just kept going, and he eventually probably ran out of energy and just died. If Goku wasn't there to save both of them, they would have died. So since Goku took so much longer, I'm saying they most likely died. For the sake of this what if making sense, they just died. Um I can't think of any way they would have survived because in the canon timeline, Piccolo was he would have drowned if Goku didn't come and get him because he was unconscious in the water and about to die when Goku got there. And if it's like almost an hour later in this what if, there's no way Piccolo would have survived. He would have just drowned and died. And Tien would have ran out of energy from all the tri beams, so he would have died as well. So yeah, and obviously, by the time Goku finally flies over there and he sees that two of his best friends are dead, he would be super angry and he would have flew after Cell. He would have almost fought Cell, but he would remember that no, this isn't why he came here, and he would tell Cell about he's gonna train and he'll be way stronger and he'll fight him then, and then they go off to the lookout and the whole training thing happens as normal. But then there's a problem. How is there gonna be Dende as Earth's guardian so fast since in the canon timeline, Goku just goes instant transmission to Namek, gets Dende, goes back home, and does a few wishes with the Namekian Dragon Balls. He can't do that since he doesn't have instant transmission. So it would probably be something like, okay, King Kai lets Goku you know, let's Goku, what's the word, communicate with Dende from Earth to Namek, and then they do wishes with the Namekian Dragon Balls. And I mean, the only way that Dende would be able to get to Earth at that point would be with the Namekian spaceship, and I'd say that would take him at least a day, probably multiple days for him to get there. So it would take longer for Dende to get there, and all the training happens like canon. And then the next big problem is during the Cell games, Goku, one of his most iconic attacks and one of the most iconic and popular moments from the entire Dragon Ball series is the instant transmission Kamehameha. That can't happen because Goku can't do instant transmission. And so, besides that not being able to happen, there's the biggest issue from this whole not being able to use instant transmission, and that's Cell blowing himself up. He can't be taken away to not Supreme Kai, to King Kai. He can't be taken away there with instant transmission by Goku. He can't. He just doesn't know instant transmission. He can't do that. So Cell, who's probably super heavy since he's super bloated and he's an explosive now, so he's probably super heavy, and Goku would have to fly Cell all the way up out of the atmosphere super quickly while Cell is super heavy. So it's just not likely that Goku would be able to get Cell far away enough from the planet Earth for him to explode and not destroy the entire planet. And even if Goku was able to get Cell far away from the Earth enough time, then the Earth would have blown up anyways in the Buu saga 7 years later. Everyone would have died anyways, since in the Buu saga, one of the main reasons why Goku was able to defeat Kid Buu with the Spirit Bomb was because Hercule was talking to all the Earthlings and saying, we need your help. Hercule would have died in the explosion of Earth from Kid Buu because the only reason he was able to survive anyways was because Goku saved him with instant transmission. So the only people who would have survived would probably just be Goku and Vegeta and a few other people from Earth. Probably, yeah, just Goku and Vegeta and a few other main characters like Supreme Kai and everybody would be the only surviving main characters in the story. And then since they can't communicate properly with the Earthlings, since Hercule's not there, the Earthlings won't listen to Goku, then Goku would lose. The Spirit Bomb would not do much because there's not enough energy in it, and Kid Buu would have destroyed everybody. He would have blown up Supreme Kai's world. He would have gone to the next planet, blew it up, and just blow up all the planets that are inhabited in the universe. He just would have basically destroyed all the planets in Universe 7 that are inhabited. And if if Cell didn't blow up the Earth anyways, if Cell had blown up the Earth successfully, killing all the main characters at that point, then he would have just gone from planet to planet, probably taking over them since he can breathe in space because he has the Frieza cells. He also has Frieza cells that would probably make him want to take over planets like Frieza did. So he'd probably just go around taking over planets and rule like all the inhabited planets in Universe 7. So either way, it's a lose-lose situation for the people of Universe 7. Either they're all killed and their planets are destroyed, or they're all ruled by Cell. And eventually, the only fix for this would be Beerus eventually waking up and destroying Majin Buu or Cell, whoever survives. And so, yeah, the universe is just destroyed, probably. It's probably erased by Zeno because there's no strong fighters coming from Universe 7 because either all the inhabitants of Universe 7 have all immortal inhabitants of Universe 7 at least have either been destroyed or they have been ruled over and so there's no strong fighters that have been able to get strong enough to the point where they could even have challenged Cell, because Cell probably would have had them killed if they were getting strong. So yeah, it's just everybody's dead basically, and Universe 7 is destroyed. So yeah, bye guys.